What's up guys, and welcome back to another video from me. And today we're going to have some more Project Cars stuff. It's not going to be gameplay. It's not going to be me having a rant about all the bugs and the pain in the arse issues we currently have with Project Cars. I will be going over the latest patch notes for the upcoming patch that's coming out for the game. Don't get too excited. Do not get too excited at all. If you use a controller, you might be alright. You know, something good in there for you guys. But apart from that, don't get excited. I'm going to go over them in a minute because what I've done today is I've spent some time on the Project Cars forum browsing through a few threads as I've done since the game went live. I've been signed up to this forum for quite a while, but obviously I hadn't got the game, so I hadn't even got involved in it that much. But since the game's been out, I've been on there looking at the issues other guys have been having and seeing if there's any workarounds for any of the issues I'm having. On these type of forums, as you probably are aware with other gaming forums, there are two types of people usually. There are the fanboys who, no matter what goes wrong, the game is 100% perfect, everybody loves it, high fives to all, everyone gets big hugs. And then there are the people who come on the forum, make very few posts usually, and just have a moan about the game in general. But either way, you got the guys that enjoy it, they have valid points. You have the guys that don't enjoy it and are moaning, they have very valid points as well. Everybody is a paying customer, everybody is entitled to their opinion. Again, everything that's in this video is my opinion. I'm not trying to force my opinion onto you. I will put all the links for everything that I use within this video in the description below. You guys can click on that, see everything in its full context, and make your own decisions on it. And we also have moderators, as you do on most forums. Sometimes the moderators have a bit of a power trip, feel like they're king of the world, feel like they can say and do anything, but they're there to try and mould the forum and keep it in check a little bit. Some are more aggressive than others, and they do wind people's backups with their comments. You also get the people at the head of the studios. Sometimes they come onto the forums and interact with the fans, sometimes they don't have anything to do with it at all. These guys are at the top of the company, and you would at all times expect them to be professional and act in a way that would be becoming their position within the company. They will set an example to all the other guys that are on there. How they act should be the example of how all their employees act, and the kind of atmosphere they want to create on the forum as a whole. Ian Bell is the head of studios for Project Cars, and I will refer to him in this. I will give him his due respect that he does come on the forum, and he does put himself in the firing line when there are obviously, even though they might disclaim it, there are obviously quite a few issues with the game anyway. There's a lot of threads on here to say, well, no, the game's fine, it's not broken, it's just you just having it. But there's a lot of those threads from a lot of different people, which would lead me to believe it's not just me having the issues. The response on Twitter today about some of the issues I've talked about, the response on the last video that I posted, would then again back up the fact that it's not just me having these issues. So I'm not imagining any of it. You are not alone, guys. Everybody, or when I say everybody, a lot of people are having it as well. So this first post I'm going to reference, again, all the links are in the description. It's this guy, Hassan X, and what he's doing basically, I won't read it all, but he's just going on and saying, well done Ian, you do a great job interacting with the community and putting your points forward, and you do a great thing for the community as a whole. I'm trying to pick up some, I was left upset when GT6 failed and Forza 5 through Beautiful just didn't have enough content to keep me engaged. Bearing in mind there are way more cars in Forza 5 than there are in Project Cars. Track wise, it's the other way around, so take that with a pinch of salt. And basically he just gives him a high five, gives him hugs, kisses, whatever. He's just really happy with it, and he just wants to thank him for all his hard work. Somebody obviously thinks they're going to get flamed, so there's a fire retardant suit. And then Ian actually replies to it as well. This post is quite important. I will be referring to this quite often. It says, thank you sir, much appreciated. I should say this is actually a team day off. The SMS guys have worked very hard and I give them all free 2 days extra holiday. Actually it was Andy G's idea, but I'm taking the credit. I choose to spend my time here because, remember this guys, I will come back to it. I choose to spend my time here because I respect our customers. Respect our customers. I also find engaging those with less be charitable, less patient conversational skills often help diffuse potentially problematic threads. So So he wants to come on, and he wants anybody that's going to cause problems, he actually wants to diffuse that to a point where it doesn't cause a problem anymore. I can understand that. Nobody wants a forum full of people just complaining about everything. You don't want some users winding up with the users, which then it starts off a war between backwards and forward conversations and people just slagging each other off. So he's there to avoid that. We are only here because of you guys, and you give us the highest honour of enabling us to do what we love to do and get paid for it. So please don't ever think that we underestimate that. Right, remember that thread. You will see it again. Go to the next thread. Complaint the watchdog on unfinished product. Now, Racing Gear is one of the people that is obviously having clear issues with the games and having problems with it. Things like pit crews missing, frame rate issues, game-changing glitches, saying that this spoils this for a lot of people. Now, I know the pit crews, they held it back because it's not ready. Fair play to them that. I'd rather hold it back and then update it as and when they can, as opposed to putting it in and having it broke from the start. He says this has more to do with game developers ripping off customers with unfinished products and selling them as new and complete. Now, bearing in mind, one of the comments before this game came out was this game was 99.9% complete, and they were holding it back till it was polished. In my opinion, them holding it back till the release date was them making sure it was polished. So that part of it, I agree with it. Possibly not the ripping off customers bit, but it being unfinished and selling them, and then them selling them as new and complete. This really has to stop, and these developers need to stop giving the paying customer unfinished goods. Do these developers actually underestimate the power of the paying public to get back at them for this mess? You wouldn't go to a music CD, you wouldn't buy a music CD with 2 tracks on it with 100 to come later on, would you? A fair point. I wouldn't buy an album with 2 songs on, knowing that within the next few months I'd get the rest of them. You want it there and then. Again, a finished product. I think developers have now become so arrogant that they think they can do what they please with our money. It's bordering on theft. Maybe a little bit harsh with the bordering on theft, but I can kind of understand it, because if you bought anything else in the world, a washing machine, a microwave, a kettle, a car, and it wasn't 100% what it was supposed to be, you could take it back and they would refund you the money or give you one that works. Gaming is slightly different. You don't have, well, unless you buy a physical copy, you don't have the option to do that. So basically they take your money, I'll start again, they build up hype so that they can take your money, and then you can't have any of it back. Right, so I would like Ian Bell to come on this post and explain his rationale for deceiving the public, please, so we can hear him out. This is his response. Because I'm a charlatan. Now go to the watchdog, please, your rationale is frankly preposterous. Here's your statement, but it is clearly not a full game. Closed by the line from SMS stating pit crews are to be added later is stepping very, very closely near to the line of this product not being fit for purpose. To state frame rate issues as part of this clearly not being a full game is probably your best bit though. Now, bordering on theft is a step too far, and I won't have it. So he's standing up for himself a little bit there. Not being overly rude. Maybe the intro into it was probably not the best, but he's not being overly rude. And we have a few comments from other people, and people saying he's having a joke. And then somebody else comes in. Now this isn't the original poster, and this is a direct reply to Ian Bell's reply. Wow, your reply is bordering on arrogance. I can kind of see that there. I can see the point that he's getting to with him being arrogant. And this guy, the original poster, has a right to speak his mind. To which Ian Bell replies, we have 400 features not listed in any marketing that we did deliver. The pits are in the game, the animated pit crew are in progress and nearly there. This game won't be finished for a long time. We always planned to keep adding to it. You brought into that ethos and we clearly stated it everywhere. Now give it a rest. Now, I don't remember in any promo stuff for Project Cars where they said, we're going to release it on this date, but it won't be ready, it won't be finished for many years to come, or many months to come, or many weeks to come. I don't remember seeing any of that in any promo at all for this game. If it's anywhere, please, for the love of God, put it in the comment section below so I can see it, because I don't believe it actually exists. When you buy a game, you expect that game to be finished. There are then extras, what they call expansion packs, to add on to the game, the finished game, hence them being called expansion. You don't expect to get a part finished game with the expansion packs then, or additional bug fixes to actually build the game up to 100%. You expect to buy a finished product. For him to say it's not going to be finished for a long time, I don't mind them adding extra things onto it that are optional, but not the game when it comes out should be finished and playable, and everything that's in there should work. If you add extra things to it, that's perfectly fine. I have no problem with that. If you're adding things in afterwards to then fix the things that are broken in the first place, that's where my issue is. That's where I don't think they understand the term between finished and extras. To which Racing Gear replies, I rest my case, Ian. Your reply said it all. And then we have another reply from him. Now I'll decide with the mods who has the right to speak their mind if that speech includes threats to go to the watchdog and allegations of theft. Understood? So you're allowed to speak your mind to a certain degree as long as you don't disagree with them. There's a lot of these posts that go on with this in this forum. If you agree and say how great the game is, you are a hero, you are an angel, you can post whatever you like. If you disagree with anything, then it gets shot down very, very, very quickly. Somebody else then replied, from the Racing Gears original post, good, any more of these threats, these type of threats, and we will remove you. Awesome. So that is the type of response you get from Ian Bell if you complain about a product. The initial complaint may not have been the best worded, but being a head of studio, which Ian Bell is, you would expect that he has a certain level of professionalism when dealing with these type of things. I'll refer back to this. We only are here because of you guys, and you give us the ice on of enabling us to do what we love to do and get paid for it. So don't ever think that we underestimate that. I respect our customers. Really. I would beg to differ with that. We also have this other post here. People get to know me over time. You can safely assume that 95% of my posts are made with a smile and a twinkle in my eye. That's fucking awesome for you. I don't want to get to know you. I shouldn't have to buy a game to then have to spend time on the forum to get to know the head of studio and know whether you're joking or not. You should be professional enough to actually have a response that answers the original questions, be good or bad. Don't put it onto one side. So if it's a good comment, then you're all over it. If you're a bad comment, then you just make the original poster look like an idiot and totally dismiss it. And you do dismiss it because we have other options, which I'll get to in a minute, or other parts of the game and other posts where he does exactly that. He just dismisses something and actually goes to getting the forum on the same sort of lines. So where he wants to, if somebody comes on and complains about it, he will make a post dismissing it, and then actually get the community to involve in joining along with him actually dismissing that post. I'll go over that in a minute anyway. Exactly, somebody else here, you're not adding to it, you are repairing it because it isn't finished, and now you are saying you will remove me for speaking my mind. You do that, Mr. Bell, and I will come up to your office and shove this DVD up your arse. Now that end bit is probably a bit harsh, but that goes to show the level of frustration that he has created with his responses. Now bearing in mind, he wants to help diffuse potentially problematic threads. That response from that person is not diffused. That's actually got worse than his original post. So what he's trying to do and what he's actually done are two completely different things. Again, another arrogant comment. Sorry, I didn't realise you had more inside knowledge than me and our continued development plans. And you got somebody here replying to the original comment about shoving it up his arse. Now this is a clear threat and I'd love to see you try it. So he's actually goading him on to actually whether he goes there or not. Is that what you want to see from the head of studios, who is supposed to be the professional and the spokesperson for the company? This isn't another member of the forum that's doing it. This isn't the moderator. This isn't the super moderator. This is the head of studio, and this is how he acts with paying customers that have bought a product that is clearly unfinished and bug ridden. I'm getting to the point where I'm getting slightly annoyed again. We then have further quotes on here as well. To scroll down, I think the concept of unfinished is being misconstrued here. It has a median 85% rating on Metacritic for PS4 at the moment, and we have a long tail of feature and asset additions. Additions! That's adding things onto the game. That's not adding things onto the game that are in the game but already broke and bugged. We are pushing genuine bug fixes out as quickly as we can. Right, I'll go over the bug fixes in a minute because a lot of the ones that you all experiencing aren't being dealt with in this bug fix whatsoever. And then he goes on about corporate speak as well. So he doesn't want to use corporate speak. He'd just rather come on and say his mind and speak what he wants, say what he wants, because he's the head of the studio. He can get away with anything. He can set the example for his moderators and how his moderators should then act with everybody that goes near and has a problem and wants to post about it. People that actually feel passionate about the game enough to sign up to the forum and make a post. People like you, people like me. This could be anybody that Ian is actually talking to. And if you go on there and you make a complaint, or you want to stress your opinion about something, and it's not to say the game is the best in the world, expect this sort of response. Then we've got somebody else who goes on to the same sort of thing, saying they've been lurking on this forum since the game launched overseas, been following the controller issues on the Xbox, and have been patiently waiting for this to be fixed before purchasing. He just goes on to say, if you release a broken game, you should be prepared to sit there with a smile on and answer the same question 1,000 times if need be, and be glad you still have customers to even answer questions for. This guy is genuinely peed off with this game, and he doesn't go in, he doesn't make threats. He actually structures his comments in a way where you can actually read that he is passionate about the game. He ends with, this will end my rant as my first and last post on this site. So this is a person who has come onto the forum for the first time, made his first post because he's genuinely annoyed with the level of service this game's given him, to which Ian replies by this, which is a video by KWS, please don't go. I understand the comedy aspect of it, but if you're in that situation where you were that irate with the game that you had been sold and the bugs that were in it, that you actually signed up to the forum and made posts about those problems and how annoyed you were, and that's the response you got from the head of the studio, not a moderator, not a super moderator, the head of the studio, I know how I'd feel. If you bought a washing machine and it didn't work, and you took it back to the head of the company, the guy that actually owns the company, and he took the piss out of you, how would you feel? It wouldn't be acceptable in any business in the world for somebody of that stature within the company to actually take the Michael and take the Mickey out of paying customers. Why you can get away with it, I have no idea. And of course, once you start posting things like that, you actually get lots and lots of other people posting different videos on there. He continues with lots of other videos which are along the same sort of lines, and gets everybody else to join in as well. So not only is he just dismissing it with a out of order post, he's actually getting the rest of the community to join in. So yeah, come on, if you're on my side, guys, come and just dismiss this original post of somebody who's actually genuinely having problems with this game, and join in, and we'll just have a laugh about it and have a joke about it, when people, not only the guy who originally posted, lots of people are having issues with this game. And it continues, and it continues, and it continues. We have a post under this same title. You seem like a nice chap given your last 6 whinging posts, but on a day off here on Friday evening, work with us here. Whinging. Seriously. Respect our customers. Diffuse potential problematic threads. Don't underestimate that we give you the highest honour. Bullshit. I'm going to leave it there. You can have a click on these links, read them in inside context. You can make up your own decisions with it. It's for you to make your decision. I'm just bringing it up to your attention. But for me, his actions today on the forum is a symbol of how I believe that company to be run. I have no interest on posting on that forum now with any bug thread, because you know it will just get shut down instantly by all the fanboys, by all the moderators, by the icon that is Ian Bell, and the examples he is setting for everybody. Bug patches 1.3. If you're a gamepad controller, you're in for some good news, because they're adding ABS rumble to Xbox One triggers, so that the triggers will rumble on losing traction when braking. The amount of trigger rumble is controlled through the force feedback strength via the force feedback slider. Improved efficiency of the controller rumble effect, help make the steering more responsive on Xbox One. Fixed an issue where moving the sticks from one extreme to the other would sometimes result in a steaming lock. That's going to be fixed. Rework the Xbox One analog stick range and axis dead zones, providing much improved steering. So if you're a gamepad controller user, you're in for some good news. That's going to be fixed. Fanatec wheels as well, so if you're steering jolts that some users experience, that's going to get fixed as well. Also, where online it crashes when you're going from qualifying to race or race back to race central. I've never experienced that, but apparently it's getting fixed. They're also setting the time trials to 11 AM to match the PC platform to ensure that all time trials set are identical. I know some of you like doing time trials. It may affect you, it may not. For me, it makes no blind bit of difference if they do that or not. Enable saving of community event ghosts. These ghosts are automatically stored online, and you can then download the ghost of other players' laps for these events. Again, doesn't really interest me in the slightest, not even one bit. When you compare those two to some of the other bugs that are in the game, yeah, whatever, it doesn't make any difference. And then we come on to some other interesting ones. Tracks. Citation and Summerton variations. We have corrected the track info regarding the number of turns and track length. Great, everything's fixed in the game now. I have no other complaints. As long as you fix the info regarding how many turns and how long the track is on those particular tracks, I'm happy now. You've made my day. Thank you. Sakito Sprint. They fixed a crash that would at times occur when using time acceleration. Oh, I'd never experienced that. Cadwell variations fixed draw distance issues on various objects. So that's probably when you see objects pop up. Other variations, fixed odd lights around track and colour issues with the Horizon. Zolda fixed an issue where the player car would sometimes start in a closed garage. Again, I don't know, I've never experienced any of them. I've never even heard of them before. Didn't even know they were in the game as bugs. So I wouldn't imagine they are huge ones. With the AI, they fixed an issue where AI vehicles were sometimes sent to the pits due to low fuel on races where refuelling is not allowed. Again, what difference does it make? If they're in the pits, they're going to lose time. There's obviously enough fuel in your car to start off with to finish the race. You'll beat them. But they fixed it. Pit stops. Pit stop strategy will now use actual bar value for the tyre pressures. I'm pretty sure mine did anyway. So I'm not entirely sure what that will fix. Fix an issue where the pit engineer would repeatedly inform the player that a pit member has lost a wheel nut during pit stops. Again, it happened to me. I had the guy say it 3 times. Did it absolutely destroy my game? No, I got on with it. Fix an issue where the pit engineer would call the player to stop for fuel when fuel consumption was disabled. Again, it's if you know you've got enough fuel and he radios in to say you're running out of fuel and you look down, you're not running out of fuel, you ignore him. Now the best one. I am so glad that they fixed that. Improve the smoothness of the sun, moon, stars and shadow motion when rewinding replays of a race that had a high time acceleration. Really? That's one of the main bugs to fix? Out of all the bugs that have been reported, that one? I'm astounded. Lost for words. And then they fixed something in the driver network profile where the amount of miles you drive in a track would record against a different track and it wouldn't be logged again. Will it actually make any difference to you playing the game, you racing around the track? Probably not. So don't expect any major improvements in this game. You know how long it's going to take for this patch to come out. So any further patches will more than likely be a lot longer than this. It's disappointing. I understand that patches take time to fix. But really, thanks for watching guys. I'll see you all soon.